Okay, let's go ahead and head over to the gym now. It is super, super hot today. I hope it's not super hot inside the gym, but it all depends on how many folks are in there. I feel like if it's super packed, it's gonna get pretty hot. Thankfully, we also brought a tank, so once we're ready, we'll take off our tank top or our shirt. Not really our tank top because we do not want to be shirtless at the gym. We'll take off our shirt and we'll get on these tank tops that we've had from Ecovision. Today I'm wearing the navy blue one. Honestly, these have been my favorite tanks for a minute now. Is there is a bit of an upgrade when it comes to these car tugs now. So I found a workaround. I'm a bit of a dumbass and USB-C straight onto my phone and use the actually use my mic. And so for the longest time I had, I have plenty of cables. Who doesn't have cables? Mostly if you have an iPhone. And so I was playing myself, which is a little bit unfortunate. But at least we were able to kind of like fix it. So I think we're good to go. We're gonna keep using this mic for car talks and while we're at the gym. So I think now we're good. And I can also have the AC blasting the whole time without having you guys kind of hear a little bit of that air in the background, which can sometimes be annoying when I have to kind of play around with the voice or the audio settings a little bit to try to reduce a little bit of that extra noise. And sometimes that can sound a little bit distorted. So thankfully now it's just straight recording through the mic. So I'm super happy. I was just like a little bit bored earlier and I was like, let me try this because I tried it last night. I was thinking about it last night. I didn't try it last night. I was thinking about it last night and I was like, you know what? Let me actually test it out a little bit before we head out to the gym. And I did, and it worked out. So pretty happy. I am pretty happy. Today is a back and shoulder day. Everything has recovered, so today's gonna be a bit of a hefty one for sure. We're gonna be doing, I'm thinking some pull-ups. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm aiming for today. Maybe 2 to 3 sets of pull-ups, and then 2 sets of those crossbodies that we like. I think those are pretty good. So those are kind of like 2 different movements where we can target our lats, and then we move over to our overall back where we start to dip ourselves a little bit into the isolation machines, where we start to do a little bit more seat supported rows. If the one that we really like is taken, we also have another one that I can also put this little cover, or not this little cover, but this little extender that I've been using in my videos to give me a little bit more range of motion. I've been using that. And so worst case scenario, we end up using that row machine that's also chest supported, which is pretty good. It's just it's a little bit harder to kind of wrap the straps around because it's a little bit further away, mostly because of the starting position. But if we get lucky, we get to use the one that we've been liking so far. And I think we're gonna stay there for the remainder of back, and then we're gonna move over to some shoulders. Now, for shoulder day for today, I'm thinking that we're going to be doing, I'm thinking some lateral raises with the cable machine. If we get a little bit lazy to kind of set that up, I think some good old dumbbell work would also do the trick. So it just kind of depends. And kind of to kind of touch base a little bit on some of these fancier movements or things like that are, I mean, I guess technically better if you got to play around with them and you have that good mind muscle connection. For example, the lateral raises. I feel like those are pretty easy to get the hang of them. And so when it comes to movements, and mostly if you're new, this is mostly for going out for the new folks that may be a little bit new to the gym and they kind of want to wrap their heads around a little bit of a routine. try to not overcomplicate your movements and try to stick to the basics and just try to get the full range of motion. Full range of motion, I think, is the most important thing. Practicing full range of motion straight from the start for when you start lifting, man, that sets you up for for success already. So that's already a pretty good base to start off with. And then after that, look at basic movements that people typically use. That can be a bench. I think bench and all of these barbell movements or free weights can be a good way to kind of really I almost want to say get you grounded, and then you can start moving on to the isolation machines. That's just kind of my opinion. That's why I like to say that my earlier year to 2 years, it was mostly kind of like a trial where I was really just trying out different things to make sure that it was working, and then just kind of playing around with food and things like that. So I suggest sticking to the basics so that way it doesn't become too complicated where then you don't even want to do the movement or even go to the gym. I feel like once we start to overcomplicate things, that's when it gets a little bit messy. And that can also go for food in general as well. You can typically, if you want to be on a caloric deficit, you can eat the same things. You just want to make sure that you're reducing it a bit. You know, you can still eat the same things. For example, if you like ice cream, what you can do is you can change the type of ice cream you like. For example, Nick's. I'm a big ice cream fan. I love to I have a sweet tooth. And so I'm always in the mood for some type of sweet treat. And Nick's is a good balance between something that tastes good, but it's also macro friendly, because a whole pint is around 300 calories or around 400. And so, you know, as opposed to a regular Ben and Jerry's that can hit upwards of 800. So just little changes like that can really go a long way. And then even eating the same things that you typically would eat, maybe just smaller portions, and just kind of start off there. So that way you don't just start a full cut or something like that right away, because let's say you start eating all these, because when I started off, I kind of went balls deep. I was like, okay, for cutting, I need to eat way less and I need to eat a bunch of vegetables and things like that. But man, believe it or not, it did not work out that way, because you're more likely to, if you're starving yourself, you're more likely to want to cheat, and you're more likely to want to binge. And that was happening to me a lot. And so, and vice versa too. When you're bulking and stuff like that, it can be easy to just kind of say, oh, this is for the bulk, this is for gains and stuff. And then you kind of just, next thing you know, you're a few more pounds than you expected on the bulk, and then you have to cut that down once you want to go on that cut or whatever. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's why I've kind of been slowly maintaining, I guess you would call, a slow bulk. It's also been a healthier bulk because we really haven't been having crazy cheat days or anything. Everything is kind of cooked at home, and when we do go out, I try to be mindful of what we're eating. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not indulging in different things. Like, I've had Domino's before, but it's not like something that I'm having. I think I had Domino's maybe like 2 months ago, or maybe like 2 months ago. So it's just moderation. I think that's the most important thing. And I follow this one guy actually that I started seeing his stuff. I don't know if it was on Facebook or it was on Instagram, where he cooks a lot of Mexican food, like super healthy Mexican food. And I was thinking, man, you know, Mexican folks need to get put on, you know. And a lot of the times we would think that Mexican food is not that healthy, but it's actually pretty macro friendly once you start to look at it. It's just once you start getting into a little bit of the details, for example, oils and stuff like that, where it starts to get a little crazy. So there's different ways that you can make foods that you like in a much healthier way. So just kind of look around. I was mentioning ChatGPT yesterday, and I was also looking at a video where people are now asking them for routines and things like that. So honestly, you can probably ask them for a good recipe for the foods that you like, and then just throw in low calorie, or maybe set a certain standard, and then I think it'll give you some good results, and then you can play around with whatever they tell you based on that. Because ChatGPT is a little questionable sometimes. They be throwing stuff just out. You know, it sometimes isn't always correct or anything. So it's always good to reread what you're seeing. Anyways, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. Let's go ahead and head over to the gym. Hopefully, cross your fingers, it is not hella hot in there. And we also get access to the pull-up bar. Maybe we'll actually, or the pull-up section. There's like 3 little sections that we can use, I think, or 4 different little sections. So I'll see what I end up grabbing, but I think some pull-ups will be nice. If not, if we don't end up getting the assisted, I think we're just gonna do some body weight pull-ups throughout the whole thing. Okay, let's switch over now. I'll see you guys at the gym. All right. It's not so busy at the gym right now. We're gonna work in with someone real quick, and then we're gonna move over to the maybe some assisted, or we'll see what we end up doing. Let's make sure we put these on right, because I think I'll be putting these on reverse. All right. Because the handles on this bad boy is a little bit more thinner, I can actually wrap it around this, so we're gonna use the vertical grip for this one. All right. What should we got? Okay, that was good. There's maybe 2 more just like that. The pull-ups today feel pretty good, so I think we're gonna stay here for 3. Now, I'm gonna take maybe like 20, 30 seconds, and then we'll hit it for maybe 6, 8 more. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's do our second set now. You know, I've used this thing a bunch, and I just barely noticed you can slide this little box here. I'm an idiot. Come on. Man, I might switch over to the other ones. I'm gonna switch over to the cloth ones. These versigers are always letting me down, man. Oh, okay. I think we're gonna have to do some assisted. That was fucking hard. See you guys over there. Let's go ahead and let's do our last one. We're gonna end up doing this one with assistance. Not that much though. Maybe just, I'm thinking 35 pounds, so it won't be too bad. Let me actually raise the brightness a little bit because it's looking a little dark. All right, let's do this. We kind of already got rest as we're kind of packing things up on the other side. So we're good. And so I typically save my assisted to my last one or my second one, just to give me a little bit more leverage to give me a few more reps. That's really all. Now, if my pull-ups were so fucking strong, it would have been nice. And I can do them all three at the same time, but I gotta give myself a little bit of a break. Okay, that was good. Let's do some pull-ups now. That's as even as we're gonna get this. Let's do some cross bodies now. Part here is that I can actually use this here as leverage and then just pull down. So that's what we're gonna do. I think we can try 65. Hope for the best. And put on my belt though. Wish me luck. I'm gonna start off with my left. Okay. Let's get this shit on right now. Holy shit. I think today's gonna be a fast day. We already finished. Man, we already finished pull-ups super fast, so I think we're good. Let's get the same one on right now. See how that goes. Hope for the best. Good. Okay. I'm gonna save for one more. Let's give you guys a quick little view. Real quick. I'm gonna take maybe 20 seconds. Change the view a little bit. Let's do it right. Alright. Let's do the right side real quick. We're done with this one. Let's move on to some rows now. Let's go put this back. So, I'm thinking we're gonna sit here for, I don't know, a solid maybe 4 to 5 sets. We're gonna end up doing the top handle, and then we're gonna move over to the bottom handle. It just kind of depends on what we want to do. Sometimes I do 3 of the uppers, and then I do 2 of the bottoms, and then vice versa. It just kind of depends on the day. But let's move the camera just a tiny bit more back, and let's start our first one. Another one. Actually, not too bad. We're gonna use Gym Reaper abs because those Versa grips, I've been telling you guys, they fucking suck. Them bitches are like $80, and they're not that good, so I suggest getting these from Amazon. Make sure everything's on me. There we go. Alright, wish me luck. Okay. We're gonna have to drop set after. Holy shit. Let's drop it maybe 10 pounds. And then for maybe 3 more or 2. We'll see. Oh, yeah. That's it. That was good. On this next one, we're gonna drop down from the 170s. I'm thinking 160. Now it's pretty good. Okay, we're back. Let's say for 3 more. And I think we're gonna move to the bottom end because, man, my energy's already fucking dropping quick. All right, 3 more. Come on. That's it. Let's move to the bottom end now. Oh, thankfully it's not too busy at the gym right now. I'm pretty happy about that because usually for last week when we came around this time, it was so fucking bad. It almost felt like everyone come around the same time we did. So today we got lucky. All right. I'm gonna take maybe like 2 minutes and then we'll start. Get to the bottom end now. See how that goes. Pray for me, man. This thing's already fucking kicking my ass. Let's go. One more just like that. Holy shit. Let's give you guys a side view. So you guys can see what that looks like. I'm gonna take maybe like 3 minutes because I'm fucking beat already. Let's sign this one up a tiny bit more. There we go. Slip back. You know, my stupid ass forgot to change this. There we go. Let's circle it. There we go. Okay. I think we're done. Let's go do some shoulders now. Now, I typically do dumbbells for this, but I think this is a new lateral raise machine that I don't think I've used. So we're gonna try it out today. I think we're gonna end up doing maybe one hand at a time.
Should be pretty good. See how that goes. And man, this one's actually feeling kind of nice. Warm it up. Let's warm up our shoulder a little bit because it does like to hurt here and there. Nice. I actually kind of like this one. I think I'm gonna do it one hand at a time. Yeah, give us the most benefit. Let's walk the way down. Let's, all right, so because I haven't used this one, I'm gonna gradually go up. So maybe I'll start out with honestly the 50 felt pretty light. So maybe 100, 110. See how that feels. If it feels hella heavy, I'll move it down. What a good me. Wow. Right. I'll show you. Go resting. Let me do 4 more just like that. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's go a second set. I think for this one, we're going to stick to the same weight, which is one. Oh, actually, it was 115, not 110. I didn't even notice that it has a little clamp where you can change the little added weight, so you can go from 0 to 5 to 10 to 15. And I didn't notice that was at 5, so maybe we'll just take off those 5 and maybe get a few more reps on the other ones. Let's see how that goes. Let's do. Actually, let's stay at the same one for the second set, and then for the third and fourth, that's when we'll drop down a little bit. What I think I'll do is move this up just a tiny bit. I think if I end up doing that, I get a bit more of a stretch when it's coming down, and that's what we're aiming for. All right, let's make sure this thing's on us. All right, let's. Yeah, that feels way better. Yeah. Oh. All right, let's get the same on this side. I think we're gonna for sure fucking drop down. I feel fucking heavy. Let's do our third one. We're for sure gonna end up dropping down just because that was heavy. Make sure this thing's on me. Perfect. All right, let's do it. I think we're gonna do 85 instead of the 90s. Okay. Let's get this in on right now. Holy shit. I need to take maybe like 30 seconds because shit's fucking me up. Let's get the same on our right hand though. I think we'll be good. I think I ended up getting 8. So that's what we're gonna end up doing. Man. I think because it's hella hot, it's kind of draining my energy super fast. All right. Let's do our right side now. Sure, this thing's on me. Perfect. So what I kind of noticed is if I push myself more this way, and I do it this way, I get a much better stretch. It doesn't stop me too early. It's pretty nice. Okay. I'm gonna see you for one more. I'll see you guys for some reverse pike pickup next. You guys can see it's hella hot in here with how much I'm sweating. Let's go ahead and finish off today. The pike pick machine we're taking. So we're just gonna be doing this one, which is not too bad. All I'm gonna do is reach this way and just destroy my side delts or rear delts, sorry, out of it. But they should be pretty good. I'm gonna end up using this strap just to give me maybe a little bit more better grip. That's what we're gonna end up doing. I don't even know what kind of weight to do. Maybe we'll start off with see how that feels. Start with our left. That's the weaker one. All right, make sure this thing's on. Because it likes to play around. All right. There you go. Yeah, let me just grab it better. Ah. Okay. Let's get it all right. Oh shit. Oh my god. I, you know, I don't even know if I got the same amount of reps on my right. So I'm headed for maybe one more. Man, but I think the 15s on these feel pretty good. Now, 15 on this is like 30 on the other ones. Because the other sacks, they're just so much lighter. So this one's a little bit heavier. But let's hit this one for one more. And then we'll do our next one. Nice. Okay. Let's take a quick break. But we're going to stay here for 4. Let's do our next one. I think we're going to stick to the same thing. And then on the 3rd and 4th, we'll move down just a tiny bit. We're going to use the belt this time. All right, start with the left. Let's count this time too, so I don't forget. Perfect. Okay. Let's get it on our right side now. I'm gonna take a bit of a break though, because if I don't end up taking a break, I'm not gonna get the same for my right hand, and I want to get at least 8. That's right. I'm gonna take maybe 15 seconds. All right, that's what we're gonna listen to. Get us through this. Hopefully, it was bright enough. All right, let's get 8. Oh my god. Yeah, on the next one for sure, dropping down. Let's pause set this real quick. Take 10 seconds, then we'll start again. All right, do it. Okay. I think on the next one, we're for sure dropping down. Let's do this last one. Or actually, no. This is our third. We'll actually got to sit here for two more. But I think I'm just going to record this third one. And then the next clip you guys get are going to be the pose down. So you guys get lucky. I'll have to sit here. All right. Let's start with our left and then just match it. We ended up dropping down to the 12.5 just to give us a little bit more leverage to make sure we get the same amount of reps or at least a tiny bit more. Let's change the song. All right. Perk Popper, Shoreline Mafia. Listen to it. Let's get this amount all right. I'm going to take maybe 10 seconds, 8 seconds, catch my breath a little bit. That was pretty good. All right. Let's get started all right. I'm going to stay here for one more. I'll see you guys for the post down. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the post down now. It was a really good day today, but man, I'm feeling pretty fucking tired. This week has been an eventful one. We've been hitting more PRs as we've been kind of going along. So, man, I've been pretty happy. So, I think it's gonna continue. We're just gonna continue doing the same thing, and then until we end up plateauing, and then we'll see what we end up doing after that. But so far, things have been working. And I've been pretty happy about it. Let's see what kind of damage we did, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Let's get another close up. Let me see the back. Oh my God. I think holding it is the toughest part. I won't even lie. All right, let's get a lat spread from the backside. Hopefully I can do it because for the fucking life of me, I'd be forgetting how to do it. Let's get one more of these. You know what? I can do it today. It's a lot easier when I can see myself in the mirror, but when I can't see myself, that's what I'm saying. If I were to be on fucking stage, it'd be like the most difficult thing to fucking do because I just can't get it down. I think at some point I'm gonna start looking up YouTube videos to learn how to post a little bit better because I think that's one of the biggest things. You can have a nice package, but if you don't really know how to show it off, how are people gonna see it? But let's get a little bit more of a close up. Get it this way. All right. Yeah. Let's get the backside. That's it. Let's go home. I think that's enough. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Well, actually, no. Yeah. I'll see you guys on Tuesday because you guys get this Monday for some quads. Man, some biceps. You guys should know the drill already. We're going to be destroying some quads on Monday. Hopefully, we can go for 3 plates again when I'm fresh and go from there. Because I think on our first day, or, yeah, no, actually, no. It was our first day we did. Never mind. Scratch that. So we're going to go for 3 plates. Hopefully, we can get a solid 4 to 5 again. Just to really solidify that weight that we did. And I think that'll be pretty good. Man, today kicked our ass. I'm going to text Jasmine real quick, see if we have time to go and walk over and go visit her for a little bit. But I think we're pretty much done, man. We already did our cardio this morning, so we're ready to go. Let me actually show you guys how much cardio we ended up doing. But we went crazy. We've been doing that almost every day. Not even almost every day, every single day. So our average is around an hour to maybe an hour and 15. All right, let's go one more. All right, let's go home. Remember, don't skip your cardio. Don't skip your sessions. Consistency is key.